Okay, here's a quick demonstration how to swap chips. So you take your stinger, remove your top 4 screws, and just kind of take them and set them aside. Pop your top plate off. You're going to want to go ahead and remove your ribbon cable. Alright, remove ribbon cable. You're going to want to remove your backlight, and you're going to want to remove your speaker cable. Okay, so that stuff gets set aside. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to remove the board. Basically, pull power out, pull your LED harness out, pull your sensor adapter out, and your buttons lead out. And at that point in time, you should be able to get the board out. Okay? So take your board out, set it down here. What you're going to need next is a precision screwdriver. And if you take a look at the board, this is the chip you're going to want to remove. What I like to do, and hopefully you'll be able to see this well. Let's see here, I'll try to focus on that. Basically, take your screwdriver. You're going to kind of put it, you kind of see it between the socket and the actual chip, and then I just kind of like to turn it a little bit like this. Okay, turn the screwdriver and you'll notice a little bit of distance inside of here now, a little gap. Then you'll go to the other side, flip it around, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to kind of just move your screwdriver in there and just sort of pick it up, and then you'll do it again on the other side just a little bit. Okay, and so what that'll do is it'll loosen the whole thing up, and then it should come off nice and easy like this. Those pins on there will be nice and straight like so. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to grab your other chip, your new one, and make sure to set the other one aside so you know what's up. And then take notice, just so you don't get them mixed up, take notice that there is a little divot in the chip. That little divot is going to go ahead and line up with the little divot actually on the socket. You'll notice it's not on this side at all, but you'll see that little divot is right there. So take your chip, line the little divot side up. And then what you're going to do is just make sure that the that the pins go ahead and seat correctly on there, and you'll very slowly begin to push it in. You shouldn't notice much in the way of resistance. If you notice that the pins are bending or anything like that, you're going to want to pull it out using the same method you used to remove the chip. Once it's nice and seated, you want to look at both sides just to make sure that everything is actually in there. You'll notice that all the pins are actually down in the socket, and then you'll just want to go ahead and put your board right back in your gun. Reconnect everything as it was connected before. I do suggest trying to take a picture beforehand, but it is written on the board. Buttons go in. That's the buttons going on. These are the LEDs. They'll go in. Then you will go ahead and plug in your sensors in between the two of those. Then you'll go ahead, you can plug power in right after that. Then we'll grab our top plate. And with our top plate, we'll go ahead and plug in our LED screen. Let's see if I can do this for you. That is the LED screen on the ribbon cable. This is our backlight, which is next to the LED screen. And one little trick you can use sometimes when you're dealing with putting these in kind of weird, precarious positions where you got big sausage fingers like me, is just in the 1-pin ribbon cable, or excuse me, the 1-pin backlight cable. In this case, there's an open area in the Molex connector. You can just loosely put your Allen key inside of that, and then that way you can kind of guide this thing down, plug it in. It makes it a whole heck of a lot easier when it's sort of difficult to get your fingers in there sometimes. And actually right now, because the camera's in the way, it's still being sort of difficult for me. But there it is. That is in place. And then all we've got left is our speaker. Our speaker goes in nice and easy right there. And we'll screw our top plate back on and test functionality. And as long as everything turns on, you've done everything right. And that is how to replace a chip.